Hello, I'm going to shoot two videos, one in Italian and one in English, to express my 2 cents from a non-American perspective on what's going on. First of all, I would say this: all this talk I'm going to, all my talk will be not only about guitars and other things, about neoliberalism, capitalism, and trademarking everything. Some people tried or succeeded to trademark pieces of songs, even chords. Can you trademark chords? Obviously, all new chords that you discover and that you play in a certain position that are in a song, theoretically, as a work of the human mind, theoretically, could be, in this kind of society, have a copyright, not trademark, copyright. But the problem is, till what point can we do that? I mean, this is a guitar. Guitars have shapes. There are guitars that have the same shape than this. Classical guitar have 99.9% the same shape. Can have a cutaway, can be smaller, bigger, but should we pay rights to Torres family because he invented the classical guitar the way we know it? Could we copyright anything? I mean, if my guitar is a round shape, can I copyright the circle? I mean, come on. First of all, guitar shapes are not an invention that it takes a lot. I mean, come on, it's just a contour. In electrical guitars, except for the cutaway that helps playing the instrument, it's not a big deal. I mean, if this hole is 5 centimeters longer here or shorter here, it's not that this changes a lot. And I would challenge people to recognize two identical guitars for electronics and everything, but with a slight difference in the body shape. Second thing is, when you come up with something, a statement. Once it's out there on the web, you cannot undo what you've done. It's like you put up someone to something, okay? The person who's supposed to be what is the right word? It is in public relations of somewhat of Gibson. You have him say something, okay? Think beforehand. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to understand there would be a backlash. You're doing these things that I do not agree with. I mean, you let people do things for decades and then you discover out of the blue that is an infringement, okay? Why should anybody do that rather than getting more and more money out of litigation? Doesn't make any sense, okay? Second thing, if this thing is successful, everybody doesn't know how to build a guitar, what body shape use, because some people, Martin had a dreadnought. Could Martin sue everybody who has a dreadnought shape? I don't understand. Could Martin sue everybody who use metal strings because they started first? And what else? Martin is proud of their inventions, okay? But I think a guitar is, rather than something you can trademark, is a whole thing that has quality, okay? And you cannot replicate 100% another guitar, and it doesn't make sense. There is also the price value ratio and other things. One of these things is the image that a brand has. What kind of image does Gibson have? Greedy, overpriced, full of themselves. They think they are the shit. This is an image. I played Gibson-like things, both Harley Benton and Epiphone. And I would say even Epiphone are overpriced. I mean, quality and price ratio means good value for money. Harley Benton, you cannot beat it, okay? And I wouldn't, imitation in the highest form of flattery. If people buy even Gibson, it's because they start and on lower versions, or people can buy that shape, which is basically a classical guitar shape, more or less, with a cutaway, and then later on buy a Gibson. But few stifle all this market. People come up with other body shapes. There can be iconic, newer than yours, Gibson. And it doesn't take a lot to change a body shape. And in the long run, I think there will be new iconic guitar brands. Living in the past is not a good thing. We've been doing this for centuries, for whatever. Who cares? I want a good guitar for the price. I don't buy your bloody name to have on a headstock. And moreover, this thing that you are not out in the clear just because you put some tape on the brand. What the fuck is this thing? If I play a guitar that is APC, I should pay APC if I show in a video. That's far-fetched. That's overly far-fetched. you are selling me a guitar. Okay, you put your name here. I'm doing you a favor if I play a guitar and I show your name here. It's all publicity. Should be the other way around. Many times it is like this. Let's keep all these things out of the way. You sell me a guitar with the real name Gibson, and whatever happens after that is none of your business. Okay? Otherwise, sell me a Gibson with the name inside. I don't show your name here because I haven't paid the copyright of showing your name. That is completely irrelevant when I play a guitar. Okay? Tell you what, most of classical guitars don't have the names on. Okay? So I pay less for your bloody Gibson and don't show me the name here. Okay? So I find all these things preposterous. First of all, because they say things that are completely ludicrous. I mean, people should get in touch with Gibson. If I play a Gibson that incidentally has the Gibson name on it, no way. No way. Second thing, guitar shapes. What the fuck is that? Okay? Gibson hasn't invented guitars, has invented this guitar shape. That's the prototype out of which all guitars are, except line B and some strange things. Okay, inventing a weird guitar shape, it is not innovation. Okay, it's weird, stays weird, doesn't have a musical purpose to have a V or whatever. It's novelty. Don't confuse novelty with innovation. Okay? That's two separate things. I find that in this moment, in this situation of so-called crisis, which is another thing, but people have less money in their pockets, there should be a place for fairly priced guitar. Okay? And so I strongly recommend people to ignore instruments like Gibson, or they look like Gibson, and to try and buy guitars for their hardware, their software, for the sound quality, not because they look like a Gibson. Fuck the look. Go into quality and affordability, and let these brands be greedy. We are into music, okay? Everybody who plays music, even if it's not that good, I'm not that good, but all the things put the spot not on music, on brand, on copyright, on trademark. What the fuck? Okay? There's too much attention on the tools. Okay? There's too much attention on buying all these fucking guitars. Okay? I would say don't buy a Gibson. Buy a good value for money instrument. And I find that even made in Mexico Fender a good value for money, and keep the spare money and get music lessons. In the long run, when you will be good, you get all this money back and you buy your guitar that can be even a Taylor makes good acoustic electric guitars, or a lot of other brands. Seagull for acoustic guitars is a good instrument, good value for money. There are so many brands. Okay? I have the lore. I have two Delors. I have, what do I have? Walden guitar, good guitar brand doesn't exist anymore. Italian Echo, good value for money, is from Italy. I have Tanglewood, always good value for money. Nowadays with 300, 400 euros, you can buy a pretty decent intermediate guitar. I'll tell you that. I keep on repeating, harping on this. Spare money for music lessons and let people in the money who don't play music spend their money on Gibson. I have a different opinion on Fender. In spite of the fact they have an Acoustasonic model that's overpriced, which is neither fish nor fowl, but G&L is a good brand. And what Fender should have sued the heck out of G&L, and they didn't do it, as far as I know. So I'd say every time they say that Gibson is the best brand, and they always say that's an overstatement. I don't find that the Gibson is better than Fender. It's two different things, but I would say the Fender is less specialized in that makes lesser grade acoustic instruments, and I would say the Fender hasn't made the huge mistakes that Gibson made. And nowadays I would say that if people, what is the slogan that implies that it's the best brand? I would say that it's half-half. A lot of good players played Fender for the most part. Jimi Hendrix, for one. It's the iconic guitar Telecaster for country music. Stratocaster is the most iconic guitar ever. Forget Les Paul. If you have a child draw a guitar, he would draw a Stratocaster. If he doesn't know the name Stratocaster. Fender made electric guitar popular and affordable before Gibson. Gibson got into the electric guitar market after the success of Telecaster. Remember this. So all this iconic thing about Gibson was before that more luthier grade company that built acoustic archtop and whatnot. Mandolin are iconic, and got in the electric guitar market after Fender. Okay, I would say that Fender came up with the Telecaster, the Stratocaster, the Jaguar, and the Jazzmaster. I would find that it's more innovative Fender. I mean, come on, all this it's the same thing. You change the shape between a Flying V and an Explorer. It doesn't change a lot. You take a Jazzmaster, it has a different sound from a Jaguar. Okay? Other thing, great new inventions after the 60s. I mean, you already tried every kind of shape. All this is old technology. Come on, new things are digital, okay? But people still play the guitar, which is an analog instrument. It has strings, so you cannot change a lot, okay? So this being innovative, always innovative, what, the electric thing? I mean, it will be a good innovation if they worked. But, I mean, they ate more than they could chew with that robot thing. And if it was on the verge of bankruptcy, there must be a reason. Okay, that's my opinion about all this thing, and take it for what is worth it. It's just common sense. The bigger mistake is uploading a video and then to erase it. That's a big mistake. You make a statement, you stand behind it. Okay? That's my opinion. Other thing, if there were more astute, they could have done what they have to done against them and not make a lot of fuss about it. I mean, they thought it would a good move to say these things before this thing could be, you know, the talk of the town. But that's, as other people said, they shot themselves in the feet with this. Anyway, I think that the whole image of Gibson is really has been damaged. But I would say, people, get smart, buy intermediate guitars, don't make idols of your guitars, okay? It's not a given that you need. So I have many guitars. Maybe I made a mistake myself. I should have bought one or two and get all the money in lessons. Sometimes people say good things and in real life they do right the opposite. But that's it. Goodbye.